Okay, hey gang. So here is the Reiki art piece that we worked on earlier in the live broadcast on the Running with Rainbows Facebook page. I did this video portion regular camera style because I can't download anything I load to Facebook. So in any case, the dilemma rages on. My computer crashed and died, and I will not use my husband's because it's for work. So I'm just gonna make it how I can. In any case, so what I've done since that moment is I have sealed the canvas because I used Jane Davenport's mermaid markers, which are water-based and heavily pigmented, and then I used food coloring, which is also easily moved by water. I needed to seal it in before I go in with things like paint pens or markers or anything, or what ends up happening is it just gets absorbed right into the paper, so you waste a lot of what is probably expensive paint because it just zips right through. And Wyatt is still with me as he was in the first video. You got some crackers? Good job. Are those like the ones from Sunero's, the s'mores?
Yep.
Do you need help?
Oh, I have.
You got it? Good. So, okay, so paint pen. And what I used is a little messy, sorry. The basics, I got it at Office Depot. And it's the Liquitex matte varnish. So none of this is acrylic, but that's fine. It still seals it shut. And then if I go over top of it with acrylic, it'll go over really smoothly. If I use markers and stuff, they won't just get sucked into the paint and disappear. They'll actually have an impact, which if you're into mixed media, you've probably already done it. If you're just getting into mixed media like myself and have been procrastinating, you should make yourself a color chart using product. Jane Davenport has it in one of her educational books. I think it's Whimsical Figures, because I had both of them, Making Faces and Whimsical Figures, out from the library. So in one of them she gives that. So in any case, the Liquitex is really nice. It's matte, doesn't give it glossy, finishes it, seals it, so it's nice and dry now. And I have since smushed or taken a tissue and I wiped the canvas surface over a garbage bag to remove the salt. And then I slowly, because you can see it's quite pliable and you can't actually see the sheen on the watercolor paper of the varnish, I just popped the wax off and just took my time about it, so I didn't actually put a fold in the paper but was able to get it off. And then whatever was really stubborn, I used, where did I put it? A ruler. But you can use a spatula that you would use at a cooking thing, anything plastic that's not super sharp, and you can sort of take the edge and just whoosh, scrape it off. Go intuitively, pay attention to your paper though if you're going to do that, because you need to kind of feel when the wax is really stuck on there, because if you push too hard you could tear the paper, and no matter how much you try, that would still be pretty upsetting at this stage of the art, right? So just FYI. I really like what I see. I kind of see like I was looking at it earlier, almost like a crow or a bird shape there, and then like a fire. But it's neat to see what changes too when it dries. And then when I use the Liquitex, I mean, if you were to go really slowly with a soft brush and wipe it off after every pass, you probably wouldn't get what I've done here. You can kind of see the striations through the white wax areas where the color lifted from the previous stroke, and then when I pulled up it was already in the brush, so it just sort of stained it. But if you were to rinse your brush every time and do it properly, you would have it as white as you possibly could without maybe using a spray varnish. But I did that years ago, and I'm just done messing around with spray stuff. It stinks. I live in a city or a town where it's -40 for 4 months out of the year, so I can't be outside airing it, and I don't have an outside my house studio space. I'm in my basement. Hey bud, are you gonna work on your comic? Ooh, let's see. Here, let me get it updated. So remember we had it in the first video, so here's the new art. What's down here?
Tubi just went into the prehistoric time, and then he meets a dinosaur.
Cool.
And then he went back in time to the future.
To the portal again? Is the future changed or is it a new future?
Change.
Ooh, there's a new mystery. So, fun thing about this art too is what do you see when you turn it this way? What do you see when you turn it this way? Right? So, take some time. You know, you might have some ideas. I thought I had some ideas when I first did it, but now that some of the colors have melded, there's a really neat heart here originally that's kind of dissipated, but that's still, I really like the colors. It came out really nice. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take off the paper, because that's always the fun part, especially if you're kind of, I don't want to say I'm stalled, but I don't want to rush forward into any definite inking on this just yet until I kind of have more of a vibe. And paper pulling can be a little frustrating. It's infinitely very satisfying, but you can tear the paper, so just be careful. One thing I like about doing the Reiki art with the food coloring is that I did a lot of it with my daughter Essie when she was quite young. She was really proud to refer to me as a Reiki artist, and I was pretty cheesed to have her be so excited about that. She's 13 soon, so now she's like, oh my god. That's okay. Her friends like art, so always a little mom in action, right? Okay. So that looks really nice. I like that clean edge. I'm going to do my best not to muck it up with my fingers and hands, so I'm going to bring some dry tissue. Oops, sorry about bumping that. Over top. Help prevent that. But if it happens, it happens, right? Alright, so. I'm going to bring this paint pen. It took me a while to get it primed, but it's working now. And then because this is kind of a small canvas, I'm going to work with small brushes because otherwise you end up covering it up, and I really kind of just like it as it is. I almost don't want to bring any ink into it, but that would be not brave. I'm just sorting through my markers over here. Maybe I'll show you. I only have so many. Maybe I'll stick. You know, I really like blue with Reiki. I mentioned in the first video that I would have never expected my younger self to ever think glitter or pink or markers or get all excited about these kinds of things. But I do, and that's great. So these are the Seedlets paint pens. You gotta shake them to activate them as well. And these were sort of a warm palette that came. I had a coupon at Michael's, so it was like, sweet. And I'm really desperate for more. But we got a few other things to do before I can go justify events. Anyway, that's kind of a neat effect too with James markers. Anyway, there. Wyatt took my gold one. Hey Wyatt, do you have my yellow glitter pen? And another thing I'd never thought I'd hear myself say. Alright, so because this is open-ended today, I just sort of wanted to sit down and art it out. And get stuck a little bit with my process because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Now I have all these awesome stamps. These stamps came free. That was super cool. And I'm excited to use them. So I think I'll include these for now anyway, because I also want to include maybe, I'm sure I can have some fun with jelly printing, but I'm not there yet with that sort of medium. I love it. I love seeing what I'm seeing online on Instagram. Oh my god, the big ones being able to trace over magazines and then layering that in. And I think Jane has a class on it through a website, so I'm registered there, but we'll see how much it is. And that would be a lot of fun. I would really like jelly plates, I think. Oh my gosh. Because it gives it that kind of printed press look, sort of like the old school. I've always loved the alchemy kind of stoles, they're called, or text images. I think those are fascinating. So I've got some flower stamps. This is kind of a funky one. Also got some, I love birds, so I've got some bird stamps. Got an owl. You know,